My neighbour, Matt Burgess, couldn't sleep.
My night, Jarrod Walsh, lovely bloke. He's been around for ages.
He's lovely.
Mate, Jarrod, I love him. He's a great guy.
And world tennis number 3, Andy Martin's had to, Andy Murray even.
Well, we're back with another round of Best Team Men, but it's very unusual circumstances here as I sit in the studio with Andy only at the moment.
Yes.
Jarrod is here, but he's not with us.
No, he's on a big screen.
He is on a big screen, well, a little screen if you're looking at my phone.
It's pretty much how the whole of the world sees Jarrod anyway, like at sporting
On a
events,
screen.
just on a screen.
Yeah.
So we're normal today.
That's right.
What's going on, guys? I heard Matt introduce you, said you're sitting with Andy only. Where's Andy Martin?
Oh.
Dad. And the dad joke is because you're about to become a dad, am I not right?
You are.
Yeah, g'day, guys. If you need me for your breakfast radio show, just let me know. The talent pool is very shallow, let's be honest.
Mate, I might jump on and do breakfast news if that's okay, and jump in for a little bit and take over for a week because the other players got rid of me. So there you go. All right, here we go. Straight into it, everybody. How are you?
I'm going well. Jarrod, do you want to explain to our listeners why you're not currently with us?
Yeah, so shout out quickly to Con from Brighton Trophy Centre, Con and Lena. They went on this massive road trip that they put on their socials with their family over the past week. It was very nice to see. They were in the Barossa Valley. I organised, they went to First Drop, and I said, I rang up First Drop and I'm like, hey, can you go give this bald con-looking guy.
Con-looking guy.
There's a new T-shirt, everybody.
Yeah. So Con and Lena went up. They put the kids in separate accommodation, and from all reports up at my sources at the Barossa Valley, Con and Lena got it on.
Oh yeah, there's a big cleanup crew went in the next day, hosed out the tarps. Happy days. Big trophy went to Con for that night.
We both feel, all of us, the energy in our last podcast was quite low. So we've just started really early here. Yeah. So the reason I'm not in the Ozcast studios at the moment is because my wife and I are expecting our second child, and it could pop out at any time. So we're on standby here. So I appreciate you boys understanding. There's a fair chance that we could have been divorced actually about a week ago. So I'll explain all of that. Maybe. I'm still debating whether I should tell this story because my wife is traumatized by it. So we might get to it a bit later.
Well, what would cause the divorce? Like if she heard you tell this story, yeah?
Because I've said I'm not going to repeat what happened.
Well, this would be a true test to see if she listens to us.
Yeah,
I think she's got a bit on over the next few weeks. You might get away with it.
But also some free time because mothers don't do much when a baby's born. So
I'm still trying to get over a message that my mum just sent me because we just dropped my daughter off to my mum's house so she could look after her for the afternoon.
Yep.
And prepared some butter chicken. So she messaged then just asking if I wanted to go pick it up. But how's this message from my mum, who's not very good when it comes to technology? Call by after gym and get butter chicken for lunch route and I'll come out.
Jeez, we've got one mum with a pancake spread. We've got one mum with a bloody after gym route. What is my mum going to deliver? We'll find out next week.
Butter chicken route.
Yeah. Shit. Be weird. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, did she say butter chicken route or after gym route? I missed that because all I had was route.
Butter chicken for lunch route. So.
Oh, that's all right. You get fed as well.
That's definitely the route of the week.
Yeah. What was the question you asked?
Yeah, how are you guys going?
Yeah, well.
Yeah, no, things are going well, actually. Yeah, it's been felt like ages ago we did our last one, but it was only a week.
Was it only a week?
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Far out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because we felt flat, we just all forgot that one because it was traumatic.
What was wrong? And do you know what? That's the only one I don't think I've listened to.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't listened to it. I was like,
I listened to it twice.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
For the ads.
Matt, you're really hard on yourself, Matty. You really analyze everything when you go away and you go, oh no, I'm really sorry, boys. I really didn't contribute. We're not doing this for a job yet.
No.
We are just doing this to have a bit of fun with mates. And it's not an audition for a radio
That's not
show.
what we discussed at the beginning of me joining this. No.
Andy's here trying to run a podcast business.
Oh, we're not doing it for a job. We're just volunteering our services, are we, guys? Oh, this is great. Oh, good. Could be working at Macca's right now and earning some real cash.
Little box code.
Yeah, that's right. Delivering a couple of boxes and also some food boxes. So, you don't know, when we set that business up, we made sure that we went through and had a look at the site. All the pricing was not like attached to any sexual innuendo. So, like, you know, a box that's $69, for instance, or a huge gaping box and things like that. We weren't going to sell that sort of stuff. So, or, you know, big sticks of salami in a box and all that sort of stuff. You know, or a big chocolate dip.
Big hairy box.
You guys are in Ozcast having a laugh, and I don't feel like I'm part of it.
You are part of it.
Yeah, we'll just cover the cameras for a bit and just have our own little chat, shall we?
That's right.
Well, you were just talking about that because you said my laptop is like 10 years old, but the camera is amazing.
Yeah, it really is. And you're on home internet as well, like Wi-Fi and stuff.
Feels like you're here.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that because this computer that I'm using is about 11 years old. And
can I just say, side note, it must have seen a fair bit, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
like, it must have been cleaned a fair bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is the second life of this computer. So I don't know if I've told this story before.
Is this the divorce one?
A couple of years ago, no, this isn't the divorce one. That one comes later. Okay. So a couple of years ago, I had one of my friends over who's got a job which is quite influential.
PD?
So,
no.
So basically what happened is the boys came over for a couple of drinks at my place, and we're like having a couple of drinks, which is awesome. And you know how like Facebook hacking was a thing, and then people would always go, oh, someone's left their computer open, let's type an inappropriate website on there.
Yep.
Right. So my mate did that, and you can't get much more inappropriate that the website that my mate put in. And as he showed me, and we were having a chuckle at how hilarious it was, in an inappropriate way, he laughed, but knocked over the beer he was drinking all over the computer.
Oh,
so
no.
the computer actually shut down, and I'm freaking out going, okay, so if I take this to the Apple doctor or whatever, the Cherry Computers, whatever it's called. And side note, I did work experience at Cherry Computers at Westlakes in year 10. And you know what the staff there did? They're like, mate, I'm going to show you something. They opened up every game, took them home, burnt the game onto another CD and put them back in the box and sold them.
Well, let's just quickly side note again. Remember that time that you and me, Jarrod, went into that computing place that just opened up in the city, and he said, and we're just talking to him about what they do, and then he said, no, but we don't go through people's hard drives and take all their stuff and head home at all. And he like winked. And it's like, oh God, this guy is so dodgy. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
and we like walked out like we'd just seen something that we shouldn't have seen.
Yeah, like the guy at Harvey Norman who prints your photos and he looks like he's on day release because he's covered in tats. And we're like, you do not do this for a job, mate. Let's be honest. You're not at Harvey Norman doing this. Okay, so I take the computer and I'm thinking, all right, so I've got to take this to get fixed. But my issue is not what is on my computer, as in all the files. It is the first time someone is going to turn this computer on again, this is what they are going to see. Now, this website was real bad. So
checks in the mail bad?
Two girls, one cup bad?
No, not even one guy, one jar bad.
Wow. Jeez. He went heavy duty.
Okay, I need to take a breath
control.
of what's going to happen. And I have then gone, all right, I have one opportunity. It's like Eminem, 8 Mile. You've got one life, one opportunity to seize everything all you've ever wanted. So all I did was turn the computer on, and instead of backing up everything on my hard drive, I deleted the internet history. That was it. So then insurance covered the computer, got a brand new one, but far out I was scared. So this is a new version of a 10-year-old computer, but it's still old.
Yeah.
But it still works.
It still works. It still works. Just boys, before I give you an update on lots of things, I wanted to ask you a question. So working at sporting events over summer, it's actually got me really thinking. You both are involved in music, and I saw this at the cricket the other night. When you play songs that the crowd really engage with, so you know your YMCA or your Nutbush, you go to your nights like that. This is a real I don't know. It's a deep music question. I thought there's no songs since probably Macarena where people really connect to it and dance and have energy, and there's choreographed moves. Like YMCA has lived so long through generations. It's the same as Nutbush. It's the same as I Feel Good, all that stuff. Is there anything current that is going to be the Nutbush, the YMCA in the next 10, 20 years? Or is music just shifted so much where we don't have that anymore?
Not even with the dancing. There's not a lot of timeless classics being released as it is at the moment. I think one of the last songs to have a choreographed dance to it is probably Teach Me How to Dougie.
I was going to say the Crazy Frog was, I thought, the last one, and I was going to give the reason that the phone companies can't make money off catchy songs anymore with ringtones. That's pretty much where it's sort of finished up for me.
The old polyphonic ringtones you used to pay $7 for.
Yeah, if not more.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But you can't play that at say Teach Me How to Dougie.
Yeah.
If you're at an event where there's 40,000 people,
No chance.
you're not going to play that and everybody responds to it like they will YMCA. And I thought that just shows how timeless these songs are for some particular because it was so simple back then.
Well, I think the only songs that really sort of stick out for me, and it obviously doesn't appeal to everyone, is like songs that either use samples from the old songs that people did like. Like Will Sparks and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
That sort of music would get people up and dance at a sporting event, but it's still not a timeless classic like what you're talking about.
What about Lost Ketchup song?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but that's still close to one of them. But people aren't going to dance.
I can't believe you remembered that.
It's a great song. Yeah, they tried to be the Macarena then.
They did, didn't it?
Yeah, I think looking back at that, we're kind of lucky in our, I know I sound a bit old saying it, but lucky to have all of those songs that were still the generation before us, because no matter the age, people still have some sort of connection to them. You always go, this is going to get people dancing, let's play YMCA. And you've got 6-year-old kids doing YMCA thinking, far out, mate. Like your parents weren't even thought of when this came out.
The other one is, and I don't think it has a dance, but one of the most iconic timeless songs, I think, in that sort of mold would be Who Let the Dogs Out.
Yeah.
They always play that at sporting events, and you hear people going nuts when they...
Could also be the fact that...
that's what they play when your dad comes home every night, yeah.
Who let the dog in? Me. It could also be the fact that our listeners, the listening culture has changed. So there's opportunities to find music anywhere. There's no longer the very similar to what I can relate to with radio. So people aren't. Like when producers and record labels sit down, they don't go, we need this to fucking definitely work. We're going to put a dance with it. We're going to make it the best written possible song ever. And we're going to get it out that way. Because people can just go to Spotify. They can pick it. There's niches everywhere. And there's like, you don't have to, you're not forced to listen to something and then it gets in your head and then it becomes a catchy tune and everyone's doing the Macarena. It's not like that anymore.
I'll tell you why, and pardon my language, but I'll tell you why music is absolutely fucked at the moment.
How dare you?
How dare you
speak like that? Oh, that is oh my golly.
I mean, that is
all right, I'll tell you why music is absolutely in trouble at the moment.
Gosh, he's done it again.
Because if you write a song and it goes viral on TikTok, it's going to go viral everywhere.
Yeah,
correct.
And you're relying on a dancing video streaming app.
Yep.
And that's why a lot of people probably don't realize this, but record companies will pay influential TikTok dancers to make a dance to certain songs to blow them up.
Yeah,
100%. Yeah.
Well, look at Savage Love with Jason Derulo. So Joel, or whatever his name is, from New Zealand, that was a TikTok song that he originally released, which was Just in Music. Then Jason Derulo's seen that and gone, okay, so I'm going to put my lyrics to that. So that's how it's created. So the creative process is, this is big on TikTok. I can relate to it. Then we're on, and it gets bigger and bigger. And yes, it's good for people to have a platform to do it, but it's still a different. I think I'm not a songwriter, Maddie. You are. But like it changes the mental process of the purpose and the reason you are writing something. Are you writing something because you connect with it, or are you writing something with what's trending at the moment in your head? Like my missus and I were listening to old school Eminem the other day, and she's like, "There's no like Eminem doesn't even rap like the way he used to, because he's on brand with what's popular, because that's what people are going to buy."
Yep, and people that do that will tend not to last very long because they will just burn out.
Well, they're not.
They're not enjoying themselves.
Well, like take it to what's that segment that you do called Blah Blah with Walshy that we don't really listen to, but is supportive. No. Wisdom with Walshy, right?
Yeah.
Because they're not true to themselves. Because they're not true to themselves, they're not going to last.
They're not going to last.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's short term.
You're not going to enjoy yourself.
Yep.
Yep.
That's what one PD, Irene, told me, and that's the only. I remember when she left Adelaide to move to Sydney.
Oh, she didn't go to Summer Bay?
No, no, she'd already been there for a fair while.
She's like, Andy, please stop trying to hook up with me. I'm like, but you're a celebrity. I need to get a picture with you. You're at the diner.
Yeah. So Irene was the one that ended up coming up with R&B Fridays and stuff. Yeah. But before she left to go to Sydney, she worked here in Adelaide. Right. And she was a strong PD. And if you were on a bad side... bad luck. A bit of average time. I was on a good side, right? Good side. So I learned a lot out of her. And one thing I did learn was she told me one day, she said, Andy, you've got to stop thinking about the money and start thinking about being good. No, about being like true to yourself. Yeah. And that's one thing I picked up from JR on The Maker and the Drinker. That advice that he gave.
Not the surf and ski guy.
No, not the surf and ski.
No. But you never know. He could be. He could have sold out early. Yeah. You never know. He's a very successful man at what he does.
Yeah, Eddie, you're right. It's about being true to yourself, Andy, because there's a lot of replicas out there. Can I give you an example of that?
Sure.
This is I got a DM last night from a guy.
Slid straight in, right in. Yeah, boy.
It's amazing. Yeah. You know when I did that interview with the Craig Bruce, which is the so you've been sacked. You thought you were on the Game Changers podcast, but it's you've been sacked and you're going to be on our podcast, right?
Yeah.
So I was really honest with that because I did that on the same week that I spoke to you guys about it. So if you go back and listen to that, you can hear that the sound of my voice is like almost worse than the energy we had last week. So I got a message last night from a guy who is. I'm trying to say this the nice way because this isn't his identity, but this is how people know him. He plays AFL, right? But I've never had anything to do with him. He plays for the Swans. His name's Callum Sinclair.
Oh, Jarrod Crouch. Sorry, this is the only one I know.
Played for the same club.
Tony Locker. No, it's Lockett.
Okay. Yeah, where are we going to put my belongings? Just put him in the Tony Locker over there, mate. We'll give you a passcode.
You'll punch in the face when you get it out.
You seen that movie, The Tony Hurt Locker?
Oh my god!
I bought my shoes from Tony Locker.
I reckon when he runs out of money, he should do porn and be in a porn that's called that. Anyway, let's move on.
Yep. Anyway, when you do leave Ozcast later, don't forget to lock the door. So he sent me a DM and he said, "G'day, Jarrod. Listened to you on the Game Changers podcast last week. Thought it was brilliant. Well done on not shying away from what's happening the last few months." And then he just said something like, "When it comes to sport, he can relate to people being true to themselves in sport and things like that." It was just really nice, to go, that guy that I've nothing to do with ever to come out and say something nice.
Yeah.
Say something nice.
Say something nice.
To connect like that. And you're right. What were we talking about? You were talking about blah, blah with Walshy.
No, you started off talking about sporting events and emceeing at them, which led me to asking you, what's going to happen? Are you going to take some time away from that now? With the new baby coming and stuff, I'll just pull Curran, have some work again.
Well, it's a very good point. It depends if it's game day or not. So we'll find out because there's a big run of games coming up at the end of next week where there's 7 days in a row I've got sport on. So,
well, last time you had a kid, I ended up doing the filling in for you at GU Filmhouse, and then that lasted a 3-year relationship.
No, it works really well.
Yeah, Jarrod can't afford to leave.
Well, one thing, Jarrod, that everyone can sort of relate to you with your emceeing is this little episode that Andy's going to play for you.
What?
In second place, Elia Rose. On the inside, Linveld 80. 1 out, 1 back, we earn a Tejan. On the inside, 3 back, Boober Alley Boy. And Harding coming 3 wide now. We're 1 step closer, just racing greenly at the tail end of the field. Heading towards the 600. Second quarter, 32-1. 65 for the half. Now he goes full steam ahead. We're 1
we
step
listen to the whole
closer.
thing? Or?
Yeah. He goes forward 3 wide quickly. Going with the Elia Rose. On the inside, Cop and Eiffel can't go with them. Then in turn behind those between runners, we own a Tejan. On the inside, Linveld 80, and at the tail in the field, we're looking about 5 or 6 metres to Boober Alley Boy. I think we're going here in front, leading the way. It's Elia Rose, leads by 2 metres in second placing.
All right. So,
no, I don't think I'll get through this. So
what does that remind you of?
Yeah.
Yes, I know what it reminds me of, and I'm glad you raised that, Matt, because it's almost quite fitting, and it's almost like we planned you bringing this up, but I had no idea about this.
Oh.
So Friday night, I've worked at the cricket, and then I've gone
Big
to
Bash,
an
right?
18th, which is a Big Bash. Then I've walked across the bridge that went across the Torrens. Never walked across it before. It's awesome.
Really? You've never
walked across that bridge?
Are you telling me that all those years that Port Adelaide would walk across there with their supportive teams and stuff, that you never did anything with that?
Yeah.
No, never done that.
Really?
No, it's great. Go the power.
Yeah.
So I've walked across and gone to an 18th at the Strathmore. And first of all, I'm 36. To go to an 18th is very weird. Like,
Yeah, you look like a cop.
yes, you do. It's so bizarre.
Or you're on day release.
This is one of my best mates' sons. He's turning 18. I'm really glad I got to go there, but I also got to meet his mates. And I tell you what, boys, I was pumped because I got recognised by all of his mates, which was awesome. It was fantastic. So a group of them got around me and they're like, "Hey, do you mind us having a photo?" Like, "Hey, no worries, boys. That's totally fine." So on 3, instead of saying cheers, these little fucks went, "All right, everybody on 3, go Adelaide United."
Oh, my God.
So they stitched me up with that. And the whole night they were doing that, which is great. But then last night I've gone into the city to have a quick dinner. And I was at a new place called Extra Chicken Salt, which is on the corner of Curry Street and Peel Street. Really, really cool place.
Yeah. I believe when you call them, you'll hear your voice on the hold message.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. So I was sitting there by myself waiting for my mate, and a guy comes up to me and he's like, sorry, mate, you are Jarrod Walsh, aren't you? I'm like, yep. Hi, mate. Nice to meet you. Lovely guy. And he just said, "Hey, man, love what you do. Love stuff you do for Adelaide United.
Best team, man.
Oh, yeah, best team, man. Fantastic. It's so much better since Andy joined." Like all that other stuff. So I'm like, "Hey, man, nice to meet you." He was celebrating a year since he started his business. But it's great. I had a really quick chat with him. He said, "I'll see you later, mate. Going upstairs." Awesome. So I was waiting for another 15 minutes until my mates rocked up. But in the meantime, he brought his mate downstairs with their bottle of wine, and they came and sat in the booth that I was in. I'm like, okay.
Oh, so you were sitting there by yourself. You weren't there with Gabs or any of your friends and family?
I was sitting there by myself.
Really?
But
Okay.
It's like they came and sit down, and that obviously had a big day because this guy introduced me to his mate. His mate, "This is the bloke I was telling you about. It's Jarrod Walsh. He does all this stuff. He's a great family man." "Mate, remember, this is the guy who lost his voice in front of 50,000 people." Like, "Oh, thanks." "Hey, guys, how are you?" So I had to kick them off the table eventually because they said, we can just hang around with you guys if you want and drink with you guys," before my mates came. And I'm like, "No, I reckon you guys should probably go because my mates."
No, I reckon you guys should have get off if you can. They're great.
I've had a week of people referring to the voice drop, so it was brilliant, boys. So thanks for bringing it up, Matty. It's
No,
not
that's
sexy.
okay. I heard the race caller and I thought, I've heard that somewhere.
Side note of that, I remember when I was paneling Fitzy, Claire and Jules, Fitzy was doing a lot of work because he was like, kind of fresh out of Big Brother and stuff. And he had to go to a voice specialist because he was getting a bit husky. And they had to teach him to use his voice better because he was using it quite a bit for the first time ever, right? Because he was getting paid to do everything. Have you gone to see someone about that? Because that could actually be damaging his stuff, and then all of a sudden I'll have to do all of your work.
Yeah, I know. Well, you probably regret suggesting me go and see someone then because I might go do that now.
Just while you're in hospital when Gabs has the baby and you just kind of be like, is there anyone here that can see me about my voice, please?
No. I'll be getting the snip while she's giving birth. Don't worry about that.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know what's worse. Like your throat or the snip, not the birth bit.
Oh, right.
Okay, so Andy, can you talk us through? There's been a weird week in radio because all the major shows kind of come back next week. You had a joke at the start of it, but what do you guys think about what's going on with radio in Adelaide at the moment? Because we've all had some involvement, so it's good to talk about it. So Erin Phillips and Soda has started this week on Mix 102.3, and Jodie Oddie is going to be joining Ben and Liam for a week as the newsreader. What's your take of it all? Be careful, remember, because potentially you might work in radio again. So what's your safe thoughts?
Probably head off then. No, well, I've actually had these conversations with a couple of other podcasting networks and platforms and stuff during the week. Because we're talking about talent and the talent pool. And
is it deep or shallow at the moment?
I'm just thinking about what Jarrod just told me. And
can I answer that for you?
shallow.
Yes, Please answer.
I
Did Andy just answer it for
the
you?
best way to answer that is there's a who's around that people know that have proven that they can connect with listeners. So we're going to use them because there's no more. We're going to grow younger talent to put time and development into them because we are so time poor now and businesses want success straight away.
Yeah.
So it's as simple as this is that. Look at Dave Hughes, Ed Cavalier doing Sydney Breakfast this year that starts next week because they've got profile. They know how to work together. They know how to work on the radio. So they go, yeah, these guys can just go right here.
Yeah. And it's been something that everyone has spoken about apart from management of radio stations, especially over the last 10 years. And there hasn't been what used to happen is, same thing happened with your brother. You'd go out to the country first, you'd just train up, you would be supported by a network to grow and be ready for the big markets. So when it came to time for a show to move on, they could get a show that's ready to roll, new to the market, may not be known, but they're ready to roll to be an excellent show.
An apprenticeship almost.
Yeah. And basically, as soon as the big conglomerates really came forth and started to cut back budgets.
That's the first time I've ever heard you say conglomerate, by the way.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I'm a businessman and I say big words now. Conglomerate is also a porno that I was in when I was 17. No.
Who's Glomerate?
Great guy. He was from Brighton. No.
Imagine if that was Con's surname. I'm Con from Brighton Trophy Centre. What's your surname? Glomerate.
Yeah,
nice to meet you. I'm Con and Lena Glomerate.
What was I saying?
I don't know.
Anyway,
Talking about big business.
Yeah, big business came in. They cut budgets. They stripped country stations of cash and resource and stuff, and they stopped the whole going out to other markets and growing people and like getting in contact and stuff. And it was just they got lazy, basically lazy with time, resource, and cash. Yeah. And now they're reaping the absolute consequences to their actions, essentially, and will do for a long time coming because there's other technologies. Yeah.
People have different motives as well. Like I look at Adelaide as a radio market, and yes, you need to understand. So you look at Ben and Liam with Nova, you need to understand that they're going to be in Adelaide short term because the journey for them, which would have been sold to them, is that you are in Adelaide short term until you go national. That would have been positioned to them 100%, which is great.
Because they had a national gig already, didn't they?
They did with Triple J. Yeah. But you can also have people that want to stay in Adelaide and be successful in Adelaide.
Yeah,
for example,
100%.
I'm don't have any plans to leave Adelaide. I've been offered jobs in different markets before and said no because I don't want to leave Adelaide. I was offered a job before I did the National Drive Show. I was offered a job in Sydney to do Workday, and that was back in 2006 or 7. I was offered to like a really casual conversation, but it was, would you move for this job? I was actually offered Dylan Lewis's Workday job before he got the breakfast gig in Adelaide. And I said no, because I'm not going to be taking the job of a friend. So that worked out well. But that actually happened. And there was with the Sydney job, I said no, because my mum and dad had just separated and I didn't want to leave my mum. So every kind of opportunity that I've had or decision I've made is from the heart. But I think the weird situation is at the moment with Adelaide Radio, and it's important. I'm not saying this because I want a radio job. I don't know if I do. But having a look at what's going on at the moment, if you guys want my view, I think I cut you off, Andy, so apologies about that.
Yeah. Welcome to the best team in.
Yeah, that's true. No. That's true. Okay, so let's look at each station and how they're sounding at the moment.
Sure.
So chime in whenever you want, boys.
Yeah, I don't listen to them, so I'm good for you to talk.
I can only comment on one.
Okay, so let's start with Mix and what they've done.
So
Jody,
close.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you go, Joe.
Did we cut you off? Sorry, go.
So you're starting on Mix.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Wow, boost him in, everybody.
Yeah.
Jody Oddie left Mix 102.3. Obviously against her will, because we haven't heard from her since, and there's legal stuff that goes on around it, right? So she's gone. And there's been nothing. So then Erin Phillips joins Soda.
Anyone else?
They, on the first show that they had on Monday, they put out an announcement with Aaron addressing Jody leaving and give us a chance and all that stuff.
Well,
First of all, I thought it was weird that Soda didn't say anything. Aaron did the whole thing.
Yeah, that's sort of without reading into it too much from what you just told us there, but that generally tells me that there was something behind closed doors that he doesn't agree with and that he's just having to move forward.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good
what
point.
Did they say? What did they say?
It's on their Instagram if you want to go have a look at Mix's Instagram.
Yeah,
but it's the same as when Shane left Dylan and Haley, or Lewis and Lowe with Haley Pearson from Nova. Shane didn't get the opportunity to say goodbye, so there must have been something signed there. So what's happened since then is Jody leaving the show after 13 years has been announced to now go on Ben and Liam for a week reading the news. The reading the news part is deep down in the bottom of the story.
Yeah.
But what you see if you look at the story is that Jody is joining Nova's Ben and Liam. So I need to say, I think it's very clever and smart from Ben and whoever the programmers are at Nova for doing that. Because what they're doing straight away is they're grabbing those mixed listeners who are disgruntled that Jody's leaving and going, oh, I'm going to go have a listen to Nova to see if I can hear Jody. And the chances we might hold on to some listeners. I think I was looking at it as going, it's very clever. And Mix sounds quite younger now. A lot of their imaging, for example, their news theme is the Chemical Brothers Galvanize.
Really?
So they've gone from like over 40s to really under 40s by just their imaging and their sound.
That's something that Fresh would do and not Nova. That's how far back it's like. That's how younger they're skewing with that music.
So I really think that the winner out of what's happened at Mix, Jody going to Nova, I reckon the real winner is SAFM. Well, because what's happened is their old PD, John Bleeby, now has moved to be the anchor of that breakfast show. He's worked with Cozzy and Limo before, so they know how to work as a group. And also, while Mix is now starting to find its identity again through this new show, which may or may not work, you have SAFM who are going, awesome. So we're potentially going to get listeners from both stations now, and with a product which Beck and Cozzy have been working together for 2 years, and Limo's joined in the last 6 months. But I think they're the real winners in that part. And then you look at Triple M, who've had absolutely no movement. They're not changing anything, but they're adding Marty Sheargold to their lineup. SCA, Southern Cross Oz Stereo, who own SAFM and Triple M, they would be laughing. Like they're the big winners, I reckon, for what's been happening over the past couple of months. I know it might be boring to some people, but this is what we've done for 2 decades. So I still have an interest in what's going on.
Remember what they used to say is let the other radio stations battle it out, and then the one that isn't battling will actually end up being the winner. Like you're 100% correct.
Yeah, it's interesting. And 5AA, they're going through an interesting time as well. So
I listened to ABC the other day. They play music.
Mate, ABC's good because you know what? There's no ads.
I didn't know they played music though. I was expecting a full 5AA setup where it's all talk back.
No,
they actually play.
Is it you listen to it during the day?
Yeah,
right.
So I don't know.
Well, they've always been like that, haven't they? Have they always played music during the day?
I only listen. They were stuck on my radio because I was listening to the cricket. So
yeah. So there's a bit of a radio spiel, guys.
Yeah,
it's pretty good, eh?
Well,
yeah, thanks. Matty, what have you got to tell us, Matty? What's been happening with you, mate?
Not much. Just hanging out and that. I don't know.
How does it feel not to DJ as much anymore?
It felt like a loaded question. No, it's good. I'm definitely at peace with it. I don't miss it.
But yet you mix on the weekend.
Yeah, I went in on the weekend.
This is short for John Farnham kind of retirement.
No, look, it wasn't. I just one of my mates was playing, and he said, "Go on, you won't mix a song." I said, "Yeah, I will." I mixed a song. That was it. There's nothing really magical to it.
Okay, what'd you mix?
I can't remember.
Yeah, it's the life of a DJ.
Night.
It was good, but no, I'm enjoying. I'm loving the downtime and the early nights and the early mornings on Sunday and stuff like that. So
yeah, you know what a Sunday is now.
I do. Yeah, yep, exactly. One thing though, I've started swimming because of my back, so it's pretty much the only cardio work that I can do. And I went on Tuesday night and I swam 500 meters, which doesn't sound like a lot, but by the end of it, I'll tell you what, I was
Well, yeah.
pretty gassed. And
As a professional swimmer, what do you make of that?
For the first time, that's a pretty decent effort.
Yeah, I got out of the pool and I was sweating.
I mean, how long did you do it for? Was it like 7 hours?
Oh, it was about 40 minutes. It was 2 laps stop, 2 laps stop. Yeah.
3 days, 4 meal breaks.
I swam 500, not at once.
Oh,
No, like
so what in the open water?
No, I went to a pool.
Well, yeah, I spoke to Maddie about this. Was it last week? Maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever.
So, yeah.
About you going for a swim. And you swam down in Lunga.
Yes.
Swimming centre.
Yeah.
It is the most coldest pool down there ever. So it would have affected the way that you swam down there and felt.
Yeah. Well, the other thing was there was clubs on as well. I think they call it club swimming. Yeah. So the actual
squad swimming.
Squads. That's what it was.
Squads, yeah.
And there would have been all types of age groups from like 12 to 20.
Yeah.
The pace that these guys swim at is phenomenal. So I was
because they do it for a living, mate. And
yeah,
that's the
I
thing.
understand that,
mate. You've just got into the water for the first time since you were born.
That's
so
right.
Well done.
Yeah, thank you. No, true.
Swimming's hard, man. Swimming is very tough. And have they invented like underwater headphones yet, so you can listen to music while you're swimming?
It's not a bad idea.
Well, iPhones can go underwater, so
It's
I'd
so
assume
boring.
Yeah, but what about headphones?
I mean, whatever's making that noise would be good to stop. Is that underwater? I think they've invented, like, they've got speakers that can play underwater and stuff to whales and shit. So I'm assuming that they can do it to people. So
it's like the shark diving that they play AC/DC because it gets the sharks angry instead of feeding them chicken carcasses or whatever they eat. Do you know that?
Fair enough.
They get a Spotify play, so they're happy.
Oh, well, there you go. Maddie, can we please do athlete or porn star before we work out whether I need to tell this story that could cause a divorce?
Let's do it now.
Athlete or porn star.
All right, so this is a game where I rattle off some names and Andy has to tell me if they are an athlete
G'day.
or a porn star.
Porno Starro.
All right, first one. Buddy Hollywood.
Buddy Hollywood.
Oh, that's easy.
Is it? Is it easy, sir?
That's easy, mate.
Sports star.
Porn star.
Like, I don't know my porn stars. I'm an amateur star.
No, but you're thinking Buddy Holly was a musician.
Yeah.
And then you're just putting wood at the end of it. So it's obviously a musician with the stiff wire.
Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah. Sorry, guys, I'm really bad at this game. And that's the fun of it, everybody.
Number 2.
Yeah.
Fat lever.
Oh, that's what they used to call me at school. Porn star.
He's an athlete.
Oh, my God. Double time terrible.
Something to do with basketball. Jarrod, you might have heard of him before.
Yeah, have you heard of him?
Never heard of Fat Lever.
Okay.
How is it spelled? F-A-T?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Who do you play for?
Indiana.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Yeah. Charlie Furbush.
Oh, furry. I'm going to say sports star.
He is a
Just
sports
'cause
star. Yes.
I went, porn star, but in my head I was like, do the opposite and you'll get it right.
Danny Mountain.
Climate. Sports star.
Porn star.
Oh, my God, I'm so shit at this.
It's one of your worst performances.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, sorry.
Flash Brown.
It's okay.
Yeah. Oh, backdoor, we used to call him back in the 90s. Porn star.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Last one. Richie Incognito.
That can't be a real name. That has to be a porn star.
It's a gridiron player.
No way.
Yeah.
No, he's changed his name.
Richie Incognito. So, Andy, you went at 2 out of 6 there.
Strong performance.
Would have been a porn star if his name was Richie Incognito.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
true. That's true.
Ding.
Yeah,
Thank you.
technically, is that class? No, docking. Is that what that is? Anyway, moving on.
All right, now, Jarrod, tell us this story. I think you have to pull the trigger on it.
Yeah, but do you want the music
Okay,
still?
so-
Or
No, get rid of the music. All right.
Okay,
so
this is serious time.
yeah,
Okay.
jeez.
this is quite a long story.
Go for it.
But it's so eventful. So Friday night, I was at this. Wait, I need to see if my wife is around. She's not around. Okay, she doesn't listen anyway. She used to. I think she listened once, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm a subscriber." Yeah, piss off. So we went to the Strathmore for this 18th, which was fantastic. And my wife was there until about 10:30, until she went home, and I stayed at the Strathmore. And I got there at like 10 o'clock. So I thought, well, I'd missed a couple of hours because I was at the cricket. I'm going to make up for those hours and drink gin really quickly. So in the space of about an hour and a half, I had about 7 gins.
Wow.
And I had a really nice gin because it's the 23rd Street Distillery one, the violet one, which changes colour when you put the tonic in there. But at the same time, these kids who recognised me from being the voice break guy from Adelaide United got around me and did this chant, which apparently 18-year-olds do now, where they go, then they go 10, 9, 8, and you have to scull your drink in that time. So I'm like, I've just got this gin which costs $15, and I just sculled it. So I was happy. Then I get a message from my wife. She just got home and she said, "What is this?" And it's a picture message of her holding up a plastic bag, which it looked like it had been burnt at the bottom of it. And I'm freaking out going, "Oh, hold on a sec. Oh, no, I know what that is." So earlier that day on the Friday, I said to my neighbour who goes to the gym a fair bit, let's trade supplements. So I'll give you some of my pre-workout and protein. You give me some of your pre-workout and protein. Fantastic. So he left on our doorstep the 2 tubs of pre-workout and protein, which I gave him, and 2 sandwich bags, one full of protein, the other one full of pre-workout. So the bag that my wife was holding up was the bags which my dog had got into and destroyed and ate everything.
Oh my God. How buff is your dog now?
He's just doing laps to them.
So that was what I was thinking at that time, thinking, well, what hilarious thing could I write back? You know, the dog can probably bench 100, all that stuff. It was hilarious at the time. So then I'd clicked and I'd zoomed in closer on the photo and I'd realized that there was a bag of pre-workout. Now, when you think about it, pre-workout is full of caffeine, which is horrible for dogs.
Yeah.
Their heart, their kidneys, their livers. And I started panicking going, find the bag of pre-workout, because obviously if the dog has ingested this, it's not good. We were going back and forth on messages for about half an hour until she's like, "Nah, you need to come home." So me going, "Yeah, cool, I'll come home." This is the first night I'd been out in a while and I was having fun at an 18th and all this other stuff. I've gone, all right, cool, I've just got to go home because this is bad for the dog. We need to get the dog vomiting, all this other stuff. So I'm just about to get into an Uber and then my wife rings me and she said, "I'm on the way to the animal hospital on Anzac Highway, on the corner of Anzac Highway and South Road."
Yep.
Which is a good 35 minutes from our house, because she's gone, "I've looked at the dog. No, we need to do it." So I'm like, "Yeah, cool, no worries. Oh, party. See you there." So I've got into the Uber and I'm dirty. I'm going, fucking hell, this is ruined my night. So I've got to the animal hospital, and I've got there before my wife's got there, and I've said, "Look, this is what's happening." Filled out all the information. Anyway, my wife rocks up with the dog, take the dog inside to the vet, and the vet's gone, "Hey, mate, how are you?" I'm like, "Yeah, good, thank you. Very nice."
That sounds like an old PD of ours.
I'm not sure which one you are.
Aaron, you're not funny, so stop trying to be.
That same program director once said to me when he was trying to relate to me, he's like, "Jarrod, I know you love basketball, so I'm going to talk to you about your career. Just imagine you're LeBron James and the rest of the team's the Cavaliers. You know, you just need to, do the team thing a bit more." I'm like, "I have no idea what you talk about. LeBron James is the biggest team player ever. What do you mean?" He's like, "Oh, okay, cool. Anyway, have a good day. 2 seconds. So anyway, so then taking the dog in, and the vet's had a look at the dog and gone, "Okay, so the dog has ingested the pre-workout and the protein. Great, let's have a look at the ingredients." Got a photo on the ingredients, and the vet has seen on the back of the ingredients that there is no caffeine in the pre-workout. Like, okay, great. So the vet's gone, "No worries, mate. Not going to charge you for this. Off you go."
That's good of them.
And I'm
Good on
walking
them.
out. It's fantastic of them. I'm walking out fuming, just going, my night's ruined. Like, can I please get back into an Uber and now go back to this party? Just as I was walking out, I messaged my neighbor. This is now 12:30. Messaged my neighbor and said, "Hey, man, good news, no caffeine on the pre-workout." He sent a picture message back with a circle around the label where it says caffeine. The vet didn't see it. So I've gone back into the vet with the dog and said,
"Oh my
hey,
God.
this part right here." He's like, "Oh, well, this is an issue. Bring the dog back in." Well, "Oh, great. Sounds good." Gone back in. He's had a look at everything, then saw how many scoops that the dog's ingested, blah, 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 comes back. He's like, yeah, now you know how I was not going to charge you anything before? Yeah, I'm just going to charge you a little bit now. So $1,200.
What?
Whoa. What do you mean?
To what?
He said,
what did he do?
We said, I'm going to put the dog on a drip for 12 hours and we're going to try and flush it out. I'm like, okay, great. So I put a deposit down and I'm sitting in the car now driving home just going, with my missus driving going, this is a nightmare. Like the dog could die. I'm like at the point where I'm pissed, but I want more drinks and now I'm going to go home. Horrible. So we get home. Now it's 3:30 in the morning and I've taken 2 steps out of the car in the pitch black and I've seen something out of the corner of my eye. And out of the corner of my eye was...
Your dog?
The pre-workout bag, which the dog didn't ingest because it just ingested the bag of protein.
Oh, my God.
I picked up the phone and I'm sitting on my front porch at 3 a.m. talking to the vet going, hi there, this is Jarrod Walsh. You would have just seen us. Now, very embarrassing to call you, but the bag of pre-workout my dog didn't ingest, the top of my voice. So I'm guessing we can't get any refund now, or we have to come and get the dog in the morning. And they're like, oh, right, well, we've just shaved your dog's legs so we can put a drip in. I'm just going, this is great. So my heavily pregnant wife at 3:30 in the morning has driven back to Anzac Highway to pick up the dog to then come back home. She got home at like 4 a.m.
Wow.
So did you get a
crisis
refund?
averted. Huh?
Did you get a refund?
A little bit.
Right. So they charged you like $400 to shave the legs.
With the pit bull razor and the consult. And I'm going, this is the most expensive scoop of protein I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, and you didn't have it.
No. I know. The dog had
But your
it.
dog can
I
bench
know.
400 kilos now.
Yeah. Well, that's it. She starts her bodybuilding competition next week, which is brilliant.
Hey, did you take a photo of your shaved dog?
Oh.
I've only been waiting this whole time. It took for your dog
this is your moment.
It took for your dog to almost eat pre-workout for me to get a photo of this shaved dog.
Halfway through the story, you sat back, you knew what was going on, and you chilled out for a bit.
I absolutely line and length that one, don't worry. He half volleyed that to me and I whacked it through the covers for 4. Wow.
Andy doesn't understand that sentence.
So, Andy, that'd be me like swimming 100 metres and winning.
Yep. Champion.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
No.
Right, so there you go.
So that's where I'm at with my life.
But your dog's good. That's the main thing. Happy story.
Yeah, dog's all right. Yeah, but it would have been weird if my wife went into labour when I was just hating on it. They're like, oh, I'm so happy. So, yeah.
So your wife's expecting any moment now, right? Like literally any minute.
Is she okay now?
Yeah, I've got a feeling next time we do the podcast, there may be some news. So
can you do it from hospital?
We'll find out, boys. Sorry?
Can you do the next one from hospital?
No, if I'm there, definitely.
Yeah,
I'm committed to the podcast, boys. I think this is a brilliant.
When Millie was born, I was editing a podcast in the room.
The grind does not stop, does it?
No, it doesn't. Grace Mugabe does not wait.
No. And does this look infected? What's it called? Should I eat this now podcast?
Oh, the OK Now I'm Hungry podcast on the Ozcast Network. It sounds like the new one that we got coming out, like, should I shoot this? And it's just about heroin.
That's it.
No.
Oh, what a way to
anyway, boys, I have to go around to my mum's house for a lunch route, so
oh my God.
Enjoy the pancake spread. Take us out, Con. It's been too much.
Boys, it's been great spending time with you as always.
Yeah, the music's running out, doesn't matter.
I'm going to tell you about my life. What?
Yeah, buy some merchandise. See you, boys. See you, mate.
Oh, see you.
By the Bright Trophy Center. Cups, trophy, badges, medals. Yeah, we do it better. Best team, BTC, BTS.